I mean, I can talk about many other life lessons, but 3 life lessons: doing what is right by your conscience, taking a risk and pushing yourself outside your zone of comfort sometimes. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes, and at least a few times in your career. And finally, finding what you're really passionate about and what you love. I believe these are very, very important life lessons that I have learned, which based on my experience, I wanted to talk to all of you about. And eventually there is one last lesson that I want to talk about before I complete my lecture for today. It is the need to put people first in whatever we do. Whichever organization you're in, whatever job you're doing, I think people matter the most. And the person who taught me this lesson was a person I reported to very early in my career. His name was Darbari Seth. He was chairman of Tata Tea, chairman of Tata Chemicals, chairman of many Tata companies, a legend in himself. He had launched brands like Tata Tea and Tata Salt. I was a young executive assistant working with him for a couple of years in Bombay. And after that, my wife and I both returned to Bangalore. I admired him a great deal. This book contains some more stories about him. I returned to Bangalore after being his executive assistant. And a couple of years later, my wife and I had our first and only daughter, Gayatri. She was born. And in 1995, I wrote back to Mr. Darbari Seth saying, "Sir, we have had our first daughter." He wrote back and said, "My blessings, wish you all the best." I thought the matter has ended that because he's finally the chairman of 4 or 5 large companies. Many people write back and convey blessings. So I thought that's the end of the matter. 3 months later, I get a call from a very senior official in Tata Coffee saying our chairman, Mr. Darbari Seth, has come to Coorg. On his way back to Bombay, he's passing through Bangalore. He would like to drop in at your house and meet your baby daughter. I was amazed, but I was also shocked. I was in office at that time. I was working in the Tata Tea office in Yeshwantpur. So I called my wife and said, "Listen, this is what's going to happen. The chairman wants to come to our house and visit our baby daughter." We used to live in Jayanagar at that time with my parents. I rushed home. We put our sitting room in some order. And at the age of 75, through the traffic of Bangalore, Mr. Darbari Seth came all the way home to meet my baby daughter. That shows the priority he gives to people who work with him. It was perhaps one of the most memorable days of my life. And I want to show you a photograph of him with our family on that day. But photographs like this are what make your career worthwhile. Of your chairman standing with your family members and he's come to see your baby daughter. But I believe there's a lesson in this for all of us. And the lesson in this for all of us is we need to be equally considerate and equally loving of the people that we work with. We need to